Hello friends, I welcome you all for today's session. I am here again with another poem that is from class 7 NCERT English book, that is The Shed by Flynn. Here you can see a picture drawn, somewhat a way to explain the title of the poem, The Shed. Now if we talk about a shed, there are so many things that come to your mind. First of all, let us know what do we mean by this word, a shed. Shed can be a cow shed, tool shed, or even a small room. This word shed as a noun means a hut. Shed can also be explained as to cast off. Now, if we talk about this term shed, a shed can be a small room which is used to keep things, animals, or sometimes it can be considered as a storehouse to keep or store things and even keep animals. But as this word shed, if we consider it as a noun, then this shed means a hut. Shed term is also used as to cast off, the way a snake sheds off his skin. So there are so many things by which this term shed can be explained, and actually this word shed is taken from the word shade. But here, when we are talking about this poem named The Shed, here it means a small house that is somewhere far away from the main house, near the garden area. And here what happens, why this poem is titled with this name, The Shed, we'll come to know when we go through this poem. So let us start this poem. There's a shed at the bottom of our garden, with a spider's web hanging across the door. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. When I am in bed, I lie and I listen. I'll open that door one day. First of all, the speaker of this poem is a small child. The speaker is actually the poet. In his young age, he is describing that there is a shed that is located at the bottom of the garden. That means this shed, this room is not attached with the house. It is little bit far away from the main house. And then what happens? A spider's web is hanging there. This denotes that the place is not used very oftenly. That is why a spider's web is there. And then the hinges are rusty. Now what are hinges? Hinges are iron joints that is on the door, and they are rusty. And what happens when the wind blows? The sound is creaking. Creaking sound which is not a pleasant one, and you must have seen in horror movies or even serials, there is a particular kind of sound of the door just to create a horrific scene. So here, this small child, the speaker, is explaining that when the wind blows, then the creaking of that door could be heard. And while this child is lying in his bed, he could listen that sound, and he is thinking about this shed, and he also says that one day he is going to open the door of this shed. Next stanza, there's a dusty old window around at the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. I often think there's something staring at me. Each time that I pass, I'll peep through the window one day. Now again, he is talking about a window. There is a window with a glass is there, and there are 3 panes, and that 2 cracked ones. So there is a kind of horrific scene for this child, and this window is also a thing which scares him. Why? Because every time when this child is passing through this place, so he feels that someone is looking at him, someone is staring. And then he says, I'll peep through that window one day. Again, so the same determination is there that one day I am going to look inside through this window, that what is there in this shed. My brother says there is a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floorboards, and if I ever dare to set foot inside, he'll jump out and chop off my head. But I'll take a peek one day. Now this rotten floorboards, the floor that is of wooden but in a bad condition. So this child, the speaker, he says that my brother, he informed me that there is a ghost inside this shed, and if I am courageous enough to enter this room, this shed, then what is going to happen? The ghost will jump on me and he will chop my head. He will break my head. See, this is the story told to this boy by his brother. But still, again, in the beginning he is a little bit scared also. But now again, one thing is for sure, again and again in this stanza also, he is saying, but I'll take a peek one day. That one day I am going to look inside this shed secretly. Then in the last stanza, I hope that there isn't really a ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shed for his den. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises, and the spider has been gone from his web since I don't know when. I'll go into that shed one day soon. Now he is explaining. He is thinking that the story told by his brother is not the real one. He told a lie to him. Why? Because he wanted to use this shed for his own purpose, for his own stuff, to hide himself. So he is not willing that somebody should enter this shed. And he believes that his brother is lying. And that is why now he says that I think that there is no one who is staring at me. No noise is coming. So gradually he is trying to overcome his fear. And about that spider, in the beginning he told that there is a spider's web. But now he says spider has gone. When? I don't know, but there is no spider there. I'll go into the shed one day soon. Again, the same line highlighted in this stanza that one day, this is for sure that I am going to enter this shed. And then the very last line, but now just yet. This is the main line in this entire poem, and that is, but not just yet. He is not sure that when he is going to enter this shed. He is still hesitant. Why he is hesitant? He is hesitant to expose because in a way he is not prepared enough yet to enter this shed. Might be when he'll grow up, and then after few years he is definitely going to enter this shed, which is a small room that is located at the bottom of the garden. So here the poem ends. In a way, this poem explains us a small incident that is described by this boy, the poet. He is talking about a shed that is located in the garden area. And a story was formed by his brother that some ghost is residing in this shed, and whosoever will dare to enter this shed, then that ghost is going to kill that person. Now, what do we learn from this poem? In this poem, one thing is highlighted in every stanza, and we have to focus on that. In stanza 1, the last line he says, I'll open that door one day. Stanza number 2, I'll peep through the window one day. Stanza number 3, I'll take a peek one day. And at the last, I'll go into that shed one day soon. So see how this small child overcomes his fear, and at the end he is confident, although little bit hesitant. He is not aware that when he is going to enter the shed, but this is for sure that he is going to enter this shed one day. Now he knows the reality that there is no ghost, and one thing he did in this entire poem is promise. He made a promise that one day definitely he is going to enter this shed. And the main theme of this chapter is fearlessness. Therefore, this poem teaches us that whenever we hear such stories that are baseless, imaginative, we should not believe such stories, because these stories are used by the people for their own benefit, so that they can even make fool of others, plus they can use one's innocence for their own motives, for their own interests. So friends, this is all about this poem. You should consider that not to believe such stories which are just related to some kind of supernatural creatures and then we are scared of it. No, we should not believe such baseless stories, and we should try to be courageous so that we can overcome our fear. Thank you so much. Have a good day.